Okay, so it's the morning after the official Golden Globe ceremony, and I gotta tell you, it's a lot of interesting things coming out last night, to say the least. And we're going to discuss that today in our little recap here. Now, this is what we're going to be doing for every award show. Now, obviously, I didn't do one for the People's Choice because I could care less, and I just did that basically for content and because I thought you guys would enjoy it. So there's always that. Now, also coming this week, tomorrow actually, we're going to get to see Inside Llewyn Davis in Nebraska finally. And we got the cluster that is the SAG video coming out on Thursday. We got a brand new Versus, which will be out on Wednesday, actually, and that should be a really fun video. And also on top of that, we have Friday, which is normally AJ's movie reviews. It's going to be a little different this time around because Friday is the day we're going to be watching movies all day long. So because of that factor of watching movies all day long, we're going to get you a video out about the big Oscar contenders, or what were the big Oscar contenders at one point, may still be, who knows. It's August, Inside Llewyn Davis, and Nebraska. That video will be coming up on Friday. So yeah, there's always that. Now, we're going to talk about what we thought about the Golden Globes last night, and I'm going to let AJ start off here. We're going to go down the categories, and we're going to talk about what happened, what we believe, and...
yeah, I just want to say something real quickly as far as the predictions were concerned.
Go ahead.
Obviously, the predictions pretty much blew.
Yeah,
but the thing about that is predictions are a win-win situation.
Correct.
Because if what you predict will win actually wins, you can say, yeah, my predictions were right.
Mm-hmm.
But if most of your predictions suck, it's always good to be surprised.
Yeah, it's good to be unpredictable. It's glad it's not just paint by the numbers, at least by the Golden Globes this year. We'll see when we get to Thursday for the Critics' Choice Awards and the Oscar nominations on Thursday, too. So it's a big week. There's 3 award shows basically in the same week.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Yeah, because the SAGs are usually much later.
And
they're like the end of January, usually.
Literally 2 days after the Critics' Choice Awards or the SAGs. And then we have a break until February 16th. So, back to time. That video will be actually filmed... Actually, it was filmed yesterday, and we're going to be able to get it out to you guys. Like I said, I told you the calendar, so it's not this week, it's next week. So after that, Spirit Awards, that video will be shot next. And after that, of course, the first week of February will be the Oscar video. So, let's go.
I guess we're just going to go in the same order we did before and just kind of, say
throw our 2 cents in.
And then go on.
We'll talk about the host first before we go into the categories.
Okay.
Well... A lot of people on the internet are saying something today that, not really surprising, was kind of a boring ceremony. Overall.
They weren't as on fire as they were last year.
No, not at all.
And there was a lot of...
Dead time?
There was a lot more... I kept expecting a lot of the people on stage to say tough room.
Yeah, exactly.
But not so much that it's a tough room, it's just whoever was writing those jokes. Particularly...
Bruce Valanche. Ghost writing these jokes.
Isn't he the one that's like the really good writer, though?
Yeah. He had a bad night.
Yeah. Last year never had anything as bad, or any year for that matter, never had anything as bad as the Melissa McCarthy, Matt Damon thing.
That was ridiculously stupid.
I don't know. But we did have, great things like the DiCaprio and the Supermodels joke.
That was hilarious.
And the Clooney joke. It's a spoiler for Gravity, but I think everybody in that room had seen Gravity by that point.
I think everybody in the world's seen Gravity by now.
Anybody that's, going to. Even though it's not out on DVD yet. So those people, sorry about those people.
It is actually getting a limited re-release in the next couple weeks. I don't know where it's going to go, but I know it's supposed to get a limited re-release.
I suppose that's not like a massive spoiler anyway. I think it was fairly well known.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, obviously, I practically worship the ground Tina Fey walks on. So
yeah, you do.
I'll be an apologist for her. And Amy Poehler was perfectly fine too. It's just it wasn't them. It wasn't them at all. It was that writing. And I don't think they do much of that. I think they just say what's written,
which is weird.
Yeah,
because I'm sure they both could write a great script for the ceremony. I will say right now, there was a joke that I really did like, the joke about Amy having she's an illegitimate kid of Tina Fey and Harvey Weinstein, but she goes to Idris Elba first. And that was really bad. Is this my daddy? And he's like, no, Idris Elba is not your father. That's a great line. She made the race joke of
Would you think?
And of course, she's got Justin Bieber hair and everything. And I heard Randy. I was thinking I was going to get really excited because I thought Aziz was going to come out and do his shtick from Funny People, but no.
Aziz was there.
Aziz was there. That was good.
And there was the Amy Poehler saying that 12 Years a Slave made her rethink what she thinks of slavery, and then Tina Fey tries to interrupt and say, "What did you think of slavery before?"
Anyway, the next nominee is speeding through the dialogue.
So yeah, they were perfectly fine. It was just the jokes weren't happening.
Yeah, Jonah Hill and Margot Robbie, they had an issue with the teleprompter. And they handled it perfectly, so.
Did you know Margot Robbie's only 23?
That's interesting.
She's got that. I mean, I'm not saying she looks old, but I'm saying she looks a lot more...
Seasoned?
She looks a lot more mature than 23.
I agree with that.
Especially in the movie.
In the awards season, I see a lot of younger talent that looks a lot more mature than they really are. Age-wise, at least.
So I guess we'll go to the first category we have here was actually the second category handed out before the commercial break.
I have the list, but I don't have it with me, so.
This was bizarre.
Yeah, to say the least.
I'll also talk about the Woody Allen tribute, too.
Okay.
Let's not forget that. Because I have an interesting story about that. You know what? We'll do that now before we get too far into this. So Diane Keaton did that kind of strange tribute to Woody Allen, and then we got a montage, of course.
Yeah.
And then it went on, because obviously he wasn't there. Apparently, a tweet happened. Obviously, Woody Allen has a son that may or may not be Frank Sinatra's, apparently, with Mia Farrow, named Ronan Farrow.
Yeah.
And I guess a lot of people say Mia probably brainwashed him, but apparently he doesn't think highly of Woody.
Well, yeah.
Did you see this?
No, I heard about this, but I didn't actually read into
Apparently, Ronan Farrow tweeted something, I might be paraphrasing here, but I'll remember it to the best of my knowledge.
Okay.
Missed the Woody Allen tribute. Did they have the part where he molested a 7-year-old girl before or after Annie Hall?
Gee,
in the montage.
No deconstructing Harry or anything else in that montage either.
There were the movie Anything Else, not literally anything.
Yeah.
I
like that movie, even though no one
Well, he has so
remembers
many
it.
movies, they couldn't put them all in there with
Obviously.
the time constraint.
Jerome with Love still got in there, though. For a split second.
Because it's new, I guess.
That's the only thing I can think of.
Okay. So anyway, supporting actress in a series, miniseries, or TV movie was Jacqueline Bisset for Dancing on the Edge. As I said just a second ago, that was weird.
Yeah.
Not the win, what happened. She was apparently... It reminded me so much of when Melissa Leo won the Oscar. It was really embarrassing.
I think we both make Melissa Leo references when she was coming up to the podium. It took her 7 hours to get there.
Oh my God.
For
It's
starters.
It's like a couple of years ago when Betty White won the SAG. And they had to play... They were playing the fucking Nails on a Chalkboard theme to her song. And they had to loop it like 3 times because it took her so long.
That's hilarious. It also reminded me of the guy, I don't remember what it was. It was like a short or a documentary or something when the guy just wanted to get his words out and they were playing him off and you didn't care. He just kept going.
And yeah, she was... I thought they were going to do with... in 2010, when Bale kept going at the Globes, they cut off the mic eventually.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to happen to her, but...
He cursed first and they cut off the mic.
There was something heartfelt in there, but I don't know if she just had a lot of alcohol or...
Maybe. It's taken her a long time to get up on that stage anyway. I mean, I'm not saying that, well, I guess literatively and figuratively. It took her a while to get up on the stage anyway because I believe it's her first win.
She said she's
been at it for many years.
She got a newcomer award for something.
Yeah, she's been at it for many years, and she obviously wanted to get a lot out, so... And
she was the only reason I know her is because she's the woman that make you work bangs in Wild Orchid. So there's that. I can't comment on whether or not she deserved the win because the only thing I watch here is Modern Family, and I haven't watched Nashville since the first season. But
yeah,
you know, I hear Monica Potter was supposedly like a favorite.
She was the person I actually chose.
it was after the predictions video that I heard that, so I could.
Oh, I went with her anyway.
Because somebody said something. Somebody made the comment that Monica Potter they thought would be the Affleck. Apparently, she was snubbed for the Emmy, which is like Affleck getting snubbed for the Oscar, and
yes,
she was going to win everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that theory's shot. So sorry, Parenthood fans.
Yeah.
Best supporting actor in a series, TV movie, or miniseries. I'm really disappointed it wasn't Aaron Paul.
Yeah, a lot of people were.
But John Voight is totally like not unworthy.
Yeah, but he had a very boring acceptance speech with his Alberto Del Rio neck jewelry.
It was a little
scarf.
It was endearing when you had the younger actresses up there freaking out, and then he called back to them and said, as long as he's been doing this, he was freaking out. He's won a fucking Oscar, and he was freaking out getting a Globe, even though that was in '78. I did think it was kind of funny that he kept saying over and over again, I'd like to thank my family, I'd like to thank my family. And I was like, just fucking say her name. Everybody knows who it is.
Yeah, people on the internet were saying, he was talking about Angelina, and he just wouldn't say her name. We don't understand why. I was like, really?
It's not like they were there.
Yeah, no lie.
So, yeah.
Aaron Paul still got his line off when Breaking Bad ended up winning Best TV Drama.
Yeah, I love that.
Everybody loves that line now.
He handed it right to Vince Gilligan, but I love when we'll get to this in a second, obviously.
Yeah.
When they went on stage, when it won for drama series, and you heard him very audibly say, "I'll take it."
And he gets off the bitch line at the end that everybody was waiting for.
So, yeah.
All right. Are you doing it in the actual order?
I'm just going in the reverse order we had them listed because I don't remember the order they were presented in because that was so fucking weird. What is with their presentation order?
it's really like it's like a wrestling card that has it has a good opening and then a good finish, and like in the middle is just like what. So yeah, the order was really messed up this year.
Actress in a miniseries went to Elizabeth Moss, which I predicted, even though it was just a fucking stab in the dark.
I think I went with Helen Mirren just because she's Helen Mirren.
Yeah. Like I said, I can't really comment on if she deserved it or not because I only saw the first episode of Top of the Lake.
That's more than I've seen.
But she must have made an impression on me if I predicted her, so...
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, and plus, like I was saying before, the love in Mad Men probably carried over too. Yeah. Even though Mad Men does nothing at the Globes anymore. So,
Former love for Mad Men at the Globes.
Yeah. Some type of love has carried over.
Yes.
Well, this was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
A lot of people were talking about, this happened at the Emmys and it happened here too. Everybody's big thing was, is he going to thank Catherine Zeta-Jones?
Yep.
Which he did.
At the very, very end.
Because the whole nobody knows if they're separated or divorced or staying married or what's happening. But, we wish them the best and all that jazz.
I mean, both Chiwetel and Idris Elba had 2 opportunities to win tonight.
Yeah.
And that didn't fare very well. But we'll talk about that later.
Racist Golden Globes. Has that been raised yet?
Not yet.
I'm sure it'll happen.
Give it time.
Yeah.
It's the internet.
Don Cheadle didn't win either. Racist Golden Globes.
Yeah.
Kerry Washington lost.
Oh my god.
Okay. Another narrator was miniseries or TV movie, obviously. It's kind of weird that Soderbergh wasn't there.
Yeah. He's got to be doing something.
Yeah, speaking of Soderbergh not being there, we might as well go ahead and bring this up. It was so fucking weird to see a Golden Globe ceremony that didn't have George Clooney in it.
Yeah, I know. Because they wanted to pan to him every single time, and they were like, okay, who else is there?
Clooney is the Golden Globes go-to reaction shot. You could seriously make that a drinking game and kill yourself if you take a drink every time they cut to George Clooney at the Golden Globes.
This year it was Hanks for some reason.
Yeah, or DiCaprio.
Yeah. Weird shots of DiCaprio every time.
We didn't get any sinister Leo shots like that. That shot of him clapping and just turning towards the camera with his eyes is famous now.
Gotta love that.
Did not see this coming.
No one did.
Best actress in a comedy series. This is the first time Amy Poehler's won it, apparently, is what I heard. They said this was the year for Bridesmaid, the phrase always bridesmaid and all that shit, because I guess most of the people that won, like Amy Adams, and there was one more, I can't remember who. but were winning when they don't normally.
Okay.
So, yes, I wish I remember the other example because that point sounds better. But there
Is
is
it
another
Robin
one.
Wright, maybe?
I don't remember.
I'm looking at TV, so.
But
Interesting.
yeah, I don't know that I would have chosen her personally.
No.
Because I did see all of this past season of Parks and Recreation. So, and I saw most of this season of Girls and half of the season of Veep. The others I gave up on.
You're going to have the conspiracy theorists online. They're going to be saying that the only reason she won is because she was a host and she's on NBC.
Then she would have won last year.
Exactly. That's
I think she got snubbed last year.
That actually is something someone already brought up. It was like, oh, she was a host. That's why she won. I was like, she lost before.
I don't even want to talk about it. Everybody thinks they have their little conspiracy theories that are right, but they only
They're a theory for a reason. There's not fact in them.
No, it's just... I don't know. I think it's something that when people say shit like that, it's something that they think is going to be a popular opinion and they want to be the first to have said it. When it really has no merit to begin with, so they just end up looking like fucks.
Pretty much.
Oh god, do we even have to talk about this?
I don't want to talk about either one of these next categories because they're both crap.
Okay. I can't bash Brooklyn Nine-Nine because I haven't watched it.
We can bash Andy Samberg personally, but we can't bash him in the show.
I don't like Andy Samberg.
No, neither do I.
Not as a person, just I don't like I just don't like him.
It's the Melissa McCarthy syndrome.
Yeah.
We don't know about them as people. We just don't like their characters.
I'm sure they're very, very likable people in real life, but I just cannot. I would never put myself through watching a show that he stars in. He is the star of.
Andre Brower is not enough, and Joe Latruglio are not enough to get me to want to watch.
Crews,
yeah,
I love that you saw Terry Crews, and then when you learned that Andre Brower was on the show, you were like, "Oh, I guess I mistook Terry Crews for Andre Brower." And it turns out they're both. I didn't know they were both on the show. I knew Andre Brower was. I didn't know Terry Crews was.
I didn't know Latruglio was on the show.
I actually hear good things about Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah, so do I.
It's been recommended to me a few times, but I just don't think I can.
You're not going to put yourself through it?
Well, first off, I'm pretty much giving up on TV almost entirely because it's just a lot. There's so many fucking TV shows now, and bringing in a new one would be too much. But
so the only time we talk about television is when it's connected to one of these ceremonies. Now, I guess. Unless we're going to do retrospects from previous shows that are no longer on television.
Yeah, there are some shows that I completely fall in love with, like Breaking Bad. It's the most recent one.
Yeah.
There are shows there's a whole bunch of shows from the 90s that I love.
Yes.
As far as current TV, Breaking Bad's the only show I've fallen in love with. So
I don't really have anything. I think the last show that I really got
Boardwalk Empire is really good, but I haven't watched the 4th season yet.
The last show I really got hooked on, honestly, was Dirty Sexy Money. I really dug that show.
So anyway, did we get sidetracked?
Yeah, we're talking about that.
Yeah, we're talking about why we won't watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah.
So you know.
Okay, I know I went with Don Cheadle and he went with Michael J. Fox, but I mean, come on, you had an opportunity to credit Michael J. Fox and you didn't take it. That doesn't make any sense to me. And am I mistaken, or is Brooklyn Nine-Nine does not even have a full season under its belt yet?
Yeah, I think the first season's done.
It just seems like it's way too new.
The voting the Globes do that every year. They have those new shows that haven't completed seasons.
They're the flavor of the week.
American Horror Story, I think, is still going.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I have no idea how the Globes are for TV because they do like the Emmys are in September.
Yeah.
And that's for the seasons like all the way back. Whereas the Globes TV is for the seasons currently taking place like in this year. So I have no idea how their voting works. I would like to assume by screeners they've seen the whole show before they vote, but you know the way awards bodies are, I don't know.
There's a lot of...
Hello, the satellites in the Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, no lie.
Supposedly, there was a BAFTA voter that was saying BAFTA did the same thing.
That doesn't surprise me looking at what got nominated. We'll talk about that next week.
All right. Actress in a Drama was also surprising.
Yeah, big time.
But I don't watch any of these shows, so I was just taking wild stabs when I said my prediction. So
just knowing what Scandal was
the fact
enough.
The fact that Kevin Spacey at least ended up in an acceptance speech, I'll take it.
And he was on camera a lot, too, during that set acceptance speech, so it worked.
On top of, I suppose this goes, this is a nice little compliment on top of her recent engagement to Ben Foster.
Yeah.
Which was very surprising. I didn't know they were together, and then that news broke. It's a very interesting... They seemed very happy, though.
Oh, yeah.
So.
You asked me about Sean Penn and Ben Foster being in a movie together. I did my homework. As far as I can tell, and leave a comment if you know otherwise, they have never been in anything.
They seem like they would have been.
Yes, agreed, but I don't see anything.
I don't see anything in the future happening either.
No. Ashton Kutcher will not be in another Die Hard. So...
Unless he dies in the opening, like the way they blew up Bruce Willis at the beginning of Charlie's Angels Full Throttle.
It's very possible.
You remember that?
Yes, I do, actually.
All right, Best Actor in a Drama, this was sealed. I loved this. Did you notice this? Here is what happens at the Globes. The Globes don't play clips unless it's about them, unless they're presenting the movie itself or the show itself.
Yeah, exactly.
But when an actor is nominated, what they do is the presenter describes the character and then says the actor's name and then the show name, and then people applaud accordingly.
Yeah.
They weren't done explaining. They didn't get through high school chemistry teacher before people were cheering.
No lie.
And then when he took the stage, people were screaming Walter White at him.
There was a very drunk man in the back that probably got escorted out immediately after he said the words that said Walter White really loud.
These are mostly industry people dressing up in tuxedos, going to a fancy party, and they're screaming fandom at Bryan Cranston on the stage. It's an amazing thing.
Oh, completely.
This guy that they've probably worked with before.
Oh, yeah, easily.
We know Affleck was probably happy.
Oh, definitely.
So yeah, not much else to say about that.
Come a long way since being Tim Watley.
Yeah. So this was, anybody they picked here would have been fine.
No lie.
It really
That's a great list.
It did belong to Cranston. Like I said, I feel like I'm really letting Kevin Spacey down as my favorite actor that I haven't watched House of Cards yet. I will hopefully get... And Fincher, too.
Yeah.
I'll hopefully get around to it. The second season's already coming, so I'm going to just get further and further behind.
As soon as we get done with television,
maybe it'll be like
Breaking
Bad, and I'll catch it as it's ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, maybe I should confess now. I was late to the Breaking Bad party. I watched the whole season from start to finish the week the finale aired. And that's how I saw it. Well, the thing is, I cannot do the watching TV series over and over and over again thing, so it really says something about the series that I, of all people, was able to watch the entire series in a week.
The last thing I did that with was the first 3 seasons of Grey's Anatomy.
And of course, Breaking Bad took drama, and it was nice to see all that. Dean Norris wasn't there, but everybody else pretty much was there and was on the stage.
Yeah.
So that was fun. And like I said, that moment where Aaron Paul snatched the Globe and then immediately handed it to Vince Gilligan, I thought he was going to take off with it. He's got enough enemies. He's got enough Emmys to support himself.
Yeah, definitely. Now let's
2, but that's still
2's enough to support yourself.
For a show that went 5 seasons technically.
That's good enough.
Yeah.
This day and age is good enough. Now we're getting into a movie, so this is going to be a little more involved.
Okay, when we did the prediction video, we had no idea who the fuck everything was.
I had ideas about some of them. We didn't know about all of them.
Yeah, but they're all people we know, too.
Yes.
Because Atlas was Coldplay. Let It Go was... What's her name?
Idina Menzel.
Yeah, Ordinary Love was U2.
Bono himself, that's it.
Please Mr. Kennedy was about 50 people.
Yeah.
Mainly, I think T-Bone Burnett and Timberlake and the Coen brothers. And
Oscar Isaac.
I didn't hear Oscar Isaac's name. I think
his name wasn't mentioned, but yeah, he's in this. He's obviously sings the song.
And Sweeter Than Fiction was Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
I listened to I didn't actually before the ceremony at the very last minute. I listened to the songs because the only one I actually knew was Let It Go, and that was only because of the Frozen TV spots.
Atlas is the credit music that sounds a lot like Fox. Fox Ellipsis.
And when I was doing this, I learned that I'm sorry, Taylor Swift fans. I'm so sorry, Taylor Swift fans. I'm sorry. But Sweeter Than Fiction, along with Atlas, are very fucking boring songs.
She's gonna drop World War T on you.
I would have so much loved for Please Mr. Kennedy to have won because that song is amazing.
And it's been stuck in our heads ever since he first told me about it last night.
But surprisingly, I'm not, U2 is kind of... I actually rather like U2
Yeah,
more
I do
than
too.
I would think I would.
U2's good.
And surprisingly, it doesn't sound like it, especially because it's from a movie like Mandela. Ordinary Love is actually a pretty decent song, so it's perfectly okay that Bono took it.
And of course, U2 did work with Nelson Mandela when he was alive as well, since like I believe the 70s. I think that's what Bono said last night during the acceptance speech.
For a split, tiniest second, when they gave Bono the Globe, I almost somewhat thought they might have given it to Idris Elba too. But, you know.
Might have been the only way he could win.
You know, I really wish it had been Please Mr. Kennedy, but Ordinary Love is a pretty decent song if you ever get around to it.
I was really rooting for Let It Go, obviously, so. But Frozen didn't go home empty-handed, so we're fine.
Score. I brought this up in the BAFTA video. I'm going to go ahead and bring it up now because it's actually more appropriate now.
Okay.
You told me that dude told us he thought Gravity got in for score.
Mm-hmm.
It did, but for some reason, the copy of the Globes I have only have 4 movies listed.
That's funny.
Anyway, this was a surprise.
Big time. It was our runner-up, but still.
I apparently said in the prediction video that it was a runner-up. I was just, saying whatever.
Same here.
I didn't think it actually had a show, really. So that was very interesting. I regret to say I don't really remember the score in All Is Lost.
I remember watching the movie. I think I just kind of tuned out the score, which is bad, but I mean, it's when the movie's so enthralling, it's kind of like I just forget about the music around me. I just want to watch the movie.
Because I do remember the 12 Years a Slave score, and I remember the Gravity score, but the other 3 are kind of lost on me. No pun intended. Really not.
I remember in and out I'm going in and out of the Book Thief score, too.
So,
And that was the Sean Combs moment of the night.
Yeah, what happened was he was talking to Alex Ebert about they met
on a boat. Yeah, met on a yacht.
And he said something about letting it flow.
Yeah. And
so he said let it flow. And then he brought that back when Bono won. And people thought he was saying... people basically thought that was Sean Combs' way of saying he thought Frozen should have won.
Usher Raymond just standing there with his bow tie.
He was just bringing up the joke he talked about earlier. I don't think Sean Combs gave a shit.
He was just happy to be relevant again in 2014.
He might have been drunk off his ass.
Oh, I'm positive. I saw the Moet in everybody's little bottle. So, yeah.
Let's talk about the fact that Blue is the Warmest Color did not win.
So bizarre.
So, yeah, The Great Beauty is getting pretty talked up.
It's probably your Oscar frontrunner now.
Yeah, I didn't even have it in the running here. I thought it would be that, The Wind Rises Over the Hunt, apparently. But
maybe with Miyazaki officially announcing that he is not retiring, maybe The Wind Rises is losing steam and losing it fast. Except the Annies, because obviously the Annies, they don't like Disney, so.
Well, they've still got,
we got a lot of award shows left. Them to pick back up.
Of the nominees, Blue is the Warmest Color is the best one.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the foreign movies have a lot of support this year, but I was not a fan of a lot of the foreign movies this year.
We were a lot bigger fan than last year's.
A lot of them just seemed like really by-the-numbers bullshit soap operas, like The Past and The Broken Circle Breakdown. The Broken Circle Breakdown's not here, but it's a big...
It's here in a lot of the other ceremonies.
And The Hunt has a good subject, but it was just so redundant and just... It felt like the same shit was happening over and over again. The Great Beauty and Blue is the Warmest Color were the best ones here. I haven't seen The Wind Rises, obviously.
Yeah, that's the one that's eluding us right now.
If The Great Beauty is going to start sweeping, that's okay. It's not. I don't consider it great, but I think it's really... It looks like a moving work of art of a movie. As far as story is concerned, not so much, but, it's one of those movies where that's not really the important thing, so...
a lot of people are predicting Blue to win, and since it obviously is not nominated for the Oscar, so
eligible.
Yeah, there's no eligibility there.
Nothing's nominated for the Oscar yet.
Its eligibility is not there. There you go.
Animated movie. There's really no need to discuss.
Frozen wins again.
It was pretty much handed to it. You showed me that picture of what's her name.
Yeah, Elsa holding the Golden Globe is one of the most brilliant memes I've seen that was created in like 2 minutes. So yeah.
I still want. I'll explain.
Yes.
I'll explain the GIF I want to exist eventually when we get to the actors.
Yes, indeed. For this 3 though, obviously we knew Frozen was going to win. There was no there's no competition. The Wind Rises is not in here. Even though Despicable Me 2 is picking up some steam, it's not winning enough that it's even a potential challenger at this point. And even though The Croods is easily the best animated movie of 2013, sorry, I will say right now that it had no chance either. It was just good that it got nominated. I was happy it got nominated.
Screenplay.
Yeah, this is weird. Well, not really if you really think about it.
Do you know why?
Go ahead.
Wolf of Wall Street fans, do you know why Spike Jonze won? Because he told the Hollywood Foreign Press, if you give me the Golden Globe for Best Screenplay, I'll give you a blowjob for free.
That's right, indeed.
Let me say something here. I haven't done the review video for her yet.
Yeah,
so this is a bit early. I'm jumping the gun here telling you this.
I'm curious about this because obviously I haven't heard anything yet about her.
Don't get the wrong idea. Her is a nice little movie. But here's the thing.
We do not share the same opinion on this movie.
Well, just listen.
Go ahead.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
We're not counting Frances Ha here because it's not a contender. Every year, I generally really like the movies that are in contention.
Normally, so do I.
We're particularly talking about the picture contender nominees.
I don't see anything
Nominee
that
contenders.
could get nominated for picture I'm not going to at least like.
Yeah. And the thing is normally there's a great lineup, but especially mainly in the expanded field.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly in the expanded field. There's usually one nominee that I don't like.
Being there.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's always one. I mean, I know this is kind of a dumb thing to do, but a lot of people do it. But, and I hate to, sink to that, but there is always at least that one movie you're rooting against.
Yeah.
I can't say I'm rooting against her, but her is that movie this year that I can say is probably my least favorite of the contenders. So I was very disappointed. I mean, I know it was kind of a long shot, but I was really disappointed Philomena didn't get anything last night.
It was cool to see Philomena Lee show up with Steve Coogan last night, though. That was pretty cool.
And lo and behold, it's a screenplay award that John Ridley didn't win.
Yeah.
So
don't get used to that, folks. It's probably not something that'll happen again.
And, there's the Russell... I feel so bad I can't remember that other guy's name. The other screenwriter on American Hustle. Because he's the guy that wrote American Bullshit. So he's really the brainchild. But regardless, her is getting a huge boost in screenplay. It's got a lot... Most of the critics' awards for original screenplay are for her. And this is quite... I mean, I know none of this has to do with the Oscar voters, but still...
It's still a nice little... notch on the...
I know most people have it, because her is that one movie where, there's always that one movie that has a huge, huge, huge support because of how emotionally invested people are in it. I think this is that movie for this year.
Oh, most definitely.
A lot of people really connect with her.
Yes, indeed.
So they get really passionate about it.
Correct.
And that's the thing. That's you'd think not, judging by the way his movies are, but Spike Jonze actually has a good fan base.
Yeah.
Because they love movies that go completely off the beaten path, but they're not all pretentious and on their high horse about it. Spike Jonze should be very comfortable with the fan base he has. Because I'm a huge fan of his, and her is my least favorite of his movies. But like I said, this is the guy that made Adaptation, Being John Malkovich, and Where the Wild Things Are. So his bar is very high.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, I don't dislike her in any way.
I'll find out.
I think it's the weakest of the contenders and the weakest of his filmography. So, you got that review early, basically.
Yeah, well, I disagree on it. But, it was really weird Ridley didn't win, and surprised to see Russell didn't win either, so.
When it came down to it, as the envelope was being opened, I actually started to think it would be American Hustle. Mm-hmm. Especially with how much it won last night.
It did really well last night for itself.
Which we're about to go into.
Yep.
I'm going to be totally honest.
This is a surprise.
Talking about supporting actress, I predicted it. I think you did too.
Yeah, we both did.
A lot of people were predicting Lawrence because it's the Globes.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I'm kind of surprised it still happened.
Yeah.
I guess people are pissed that Nyong'o lost. Don't worry, she's not going to keep losing.
No. If anything, they'll split the votes for the rest of the season.
I know everybody's talking about how this is the beginning of Lawrence and she's going to win again. There's some people. I actually heard somebody say they think it won't take long for Lawrence to be at Streep levels as far as nominations and wins.
She's going for Ric Flair numbers.
Time will tell. She's been getting the only year she skipped since she broke out was 2011, and that's because she didn't have a big player of a movie.
No.
I mean, she was in like Crazy and The Beaver, but those weren't players.
I like both of those movies.
Like Crazy's a piece of shit.
Like Crazy is good.
The Beaver was entertaining because,
Mel Gibson is really funny.
Just, that watching people react to that concept was great. But anyway,
agreed.
Yeah, this was. Some people were also starting to maybe think it was Julia Roberts, but.
And after watching August, I don't have an issue with Julia Roberts getting in.
Yeah, I would say I'm glad Lawrence won.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad Lawrence won, but I think I don't know. I really don't like being influenced by people when they say stuff.
Okay. But it's just something that happens.
I tend to generally like having my opinion, and just, other opinions exist, and that's great, but this one is all mine.
Yeah.
But
I've got one right here.
But somebody said something, and now I can't get it out of my head, unfortunately. Somebody brought up... It's already in past tense when you say brought. I don't know why the fuck. That's the first time in the history...
UPT is how that's spelled, folks.
That's the first time in the history of the world I've ever said that, by the way. Just so y'all know. Okay. I don't say y'all very often either. I said that just for the sake of the sentence.
I don't either.
Somebody brought up the idea that the acting in 12 Years a Slave is very stagey. There's nothing wrong with stagey as long as it's, good within the context.
Yeah.
And, it's not embarrassing. And the acting in 12 Years a Slave is by no means embarrassing.
No,
but
not a bit.
I keep seeing that clip. Maybe it's just because I see the clip so many times now. I don't know how many fucking times I've seen that clip of Yongo pleading to Fassbender about the soap.
Yeah.
That's going to be your Oscar clip, too.
I'm sure it will be.
Yeah, I can see why somebody would say that. So, I don't know. I need to see 12 Years a Slave again.
Yeah.
So, until then, I'll say...
I have an issue with that right now.
The DVD is supposed to be next month, so...
Yeah. A lot of people were talking up Gene Squibb.
Yeah. I've heard talk about her being in the running for SAG, apparently.
I think she's got a good shot at SAG. And again, I'm sorry, I really think right now that I'm very happy Sally Hawkins is getting in here. I think she'll get into the Oscar lineup. But in this case, it's just one of those, it's just awesome she got nominated, and she pretty much has no chance against this competition. Because it's Lawrence and Nyong'o just straight up, like, that's it. And then, like, you have Julia Roberts just kind of being like, she's kind of like, she's like Wilson on Home Improvement. She's kind of peeking over the fence here. And then you got June Squibb in the backyard digging up some plants and whatnot, and she's like, that's for you, Rich. And she's there and is like, I'm just waiting for her to fall over. I'm just waiting for her to fall off that fence. I'm just going to take her spot. So, I don't know why.
That's the weirdest analogy I've ever heard.
It all takes place in the Taylor's backyard in Michigan. Anyway, don't know where that came from. I am happy Sally Hawkins got in, and not just because I've been predicting it since our first prediction video, but we still haven't got her Oscar lineup. She still might miss, but I highly doubt it at this point because she got in the BAFTA.
You know what else is going on at the Taylor house?
Go ahead.
Tim is inside selling cocaine to Jordan Belfort. I hope you're familiar with Tim Allen's record, or you won't get that joke.
I get that. It's hilarious, actually.
Sporting actor. You know what? Before we do anything, I want to talk about Christoph Waltz's mustache.
Yes!
I just had nightmares all night.
He literally looks like a living, breathing Terry Gilliam creation now with that mustache.
Well, his next movie is a Gilliam movie.
That's the reason he has said mustache.
No, the Gilliam movie is why he shaved his head.
Oh, that's right.
So it's all grown back now. He looks like his normal self.
You know about Tarantino's doing the Western
The Hateful Eight, yeah.
And it is official that Waltz does have a part that's specifically written for him.
And Bruce Dern, too.
So, watch out for Christoph Waltz in the award season again.
I guess... no, that's unrelated. Well, fuck it. Maybe I'll say it. I just want to bring up that it's kind of annoying me that I keep seeing the same conversation about the Hateful Eight every single time.
Okay.
I've seen this conversation happen at least 8 times. It's
appropriate.
It's the same conversation.
Okay.
I didn't mean
I know that, but still, it's appropriate. Go ahead.
I've seen this conversation. It's the same goddamn conversation. Here it is. Wow. Bruce Dern in a Tarantino Western. I can't wait to see that. He was in Django. Yeah, but I mean something besides a cameo. I've seen that same conversation happen so many times.
And I bet
since that news broke.
I bet at least 2 of those conversations were the same conversation.
Because I was one of the people in one of those many conversations that said he was in Django. And then there's people that try to argue that Django's not a Western. Anyway, thank you, Christoph Waltz, for getting us off the subject.
He is a jam-up guy, and you'll see him in Muppets Most Wanted in a couple months.
Jared Leto took this.
Waltz presenting Leto, that's all you need to be said. That was awesome. Waltz presenting Fassbender would have been hilarious, because they could have been just like...
Archie Hickox and Hans Landa.
Yep.
Daniel Bruhl's in there,
too. A lot of bastards love here in this lineup.
Frederick Zoller and Archie Hickox in the category presented by Hans Landa.
That's amazing.
And Aldo Rain was in the picture winner.
I'll say something I said on Twitter that I'm going to jump on the bandwagon. It sucks that Claire Danes wasn't here tonight because we could have had a My So-Called Life reunion.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome.
There's not much to say about Jared Leto winning. It is what it is.
It was the right thing to do. It's what should continue, and I don't think he should lose the rest of the year. Except for what he's not nominated for.
No, Jared Leto was the rightful winner. Like,
yes.
If I was giving out the Globe, I would give it to Jared Leto, of course. But, God, if it just would have been so amazing if Daniel Bruhl... that would have just been awesome.
Yeah, because Bruhl could have got presented by Waltz. It would have been even better. But Jared Leto deserved to win, and I liked his speech about everybody just... He's really chill about everything, too. You can just tell. And he was talking to Bono during one of the bumpers. I was like, I want to see you two in 30 Seconds to Mars do a collab, and it's going to be awesome if it happens. And I'm sure it will.
It'd be hilarious. I guarantee the conversation between Bono and Jared Leto wasn't even about music.
Probably not.
It's probably just about some random shit.
So, how's the weather?
Alright. Actress in a comedy or musical. This was also surprising.
Yeah, it was. We had her in second place or a dark horse, but we didn't think she'd necessarily win, even though it was probably smart that we should have went with her.
I would have never thought it was her, really. I did have her as the spoiler. That's only because I knew it wasn't going to be Delpy or Gerwig.
I had her in second place. I'm just glad Greta got nominated because I got to see her pretty face on television. But Julia Louis-Dreyfus, I'm really surprised that she wasn't more contention in here.
Well, I think it's clear that they really fucking like American Hustle.
Which is a good thing for me in my predictions.
Which, as they even look... I mean, I look at this and I see... I mean, I know it was win-win for her because she's in both.
Yeah, of course.
It's just so weird to me that American Hustle did so well and Spike Jonze won screenplay. It just seems like it was written that American Hustle would take screenplay. But,
yeah.
You know, I guess what happens, happens.
Yeah, it's true.
Well,
and the stuff with Julia Louis-Dreyfus going from back and forth from movie to television.
Yeah, she had a nice... Amy Adams had a nice, genuine speech.
Totally. Thanking her kids and everything. It was really nice. It was very
dressed like her character from American Hustle with the no complaints.
Never is any complaints there.
Okay.
This is interesting. Happy, but interesting.
It was down to 2.
Yeah.
I find it... I'm very much on this Dern train.
Yes.
I'm still saying, even after this, he's going to win the SAG and take the Oscar, but... and he got a good...
good reaction?
Call out by Leo on stage.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I was predicting Dern, and I very much was on that train and was very passionate about it. But I haven't seen Nebraska. I'm just predicting him.
Yeah.
But yeah, even if, I haven't seen Nebraska yet, so I can't say for sure. But obviously, without a doubt, I am happy that DiCaprio took it because
Extremely.
that's who I would have given it to. The only other leading actor performance better than DiCaprio this year was Michael Shannon in The Iceman.
Yes.
Which obviously is nowhere to be found. So
it's not even in the Spirit Awards.
if DiCaprio can get as much as he can, that would be happy.
And at least at the Globes, if not anything else, we were very happy to be wrong when it comes to the acting candidates.
Yeah, normally when I do predictions, I'm happy to be wrong, so it's all good.
This kind, it's better.
Yeah. That's why sometimes we just half-ass the predictions.
Yeah. See some of these videos. They're all over the place sometimes. DiCaprio winning, did this knock him out of what's supposed to be Bale's spot, the fifth contender? Long day.
I'm gonna stay on that Whittaker train till it derails on Thursday. But, I'm just gonna carry that SAG one and just keep saying Whittaker.
Thursday is gonna be the most painful day of the entire calendar year because we have to wait all day until the end of the day before we actually get the awards.
Watch them all just fucking go off the rails and Oscar Isaac gets it or Joaquin. This is Joaquin's only major nomination, which is weird.
This was Joaquin's actual shot.
Considering how much love the movie's getting, it's really weird to me Joaquin is so low on the actor list.
Even Scarlett Johansson's getting nominated for a voice in some places.
Yeah, like the FCA.
Yep.
So yeah, while we're on the subject, I have no problem with this. I'm not making fun of anybody, of course. I'm just saying it's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people were there with their moms last night.
I noticed that.
Joaquin Phoenix was, Bradley Cooper was, DiCaprio was, a couple of other people were.
It's pretty cool.
So actually taking your mom to the awards is actually the cool thing to do. Spacey did it when he won for The Usual Suspects.
That's right.
And Javier Bardem. So the time that he won. So yeah, mothers are actually good luck charms, it seems.
Interesting.
Unless you're Bradley Cooper or Joaquin Phoenix.
Nope. Then maybe they're not such good luck charms.
Okay. So, and picture, comedy, or musical,
American Hustle.
Yeah, that was pretty much a given. I actually did start to wonder if it was going to be her.
I was thinking it, honestly. And then I was thinking at one point, I was like, hey, The Wolf of Wall Street might win this, too.
So, God, Nebraska crashed and burned, didn't it?
Inside Llewyn Davis crashed and burned.
Well, no, technically, as long as they're here, it's okay. Crashing and burning would be like Labor Day.
It was cool hearing Decap get to say Kate Winslet's name.
He put nice emphasis on it, too.
Yes, he did. And this was another year, and that movie would have came out when it was supposed to. I think it may have had more contention than it did.
It always had the December 27th date.
Really?
Yeah.
Why did more people not take to it?
It's got really bad reviews. Apparently, people just don't like it.
Oh, man.
That happened to both Roland movies this year.
Yeah, they didn't like Old Boy at all.
Which comes out on DVD soon. I'm still eager to check it out just because.
I had a chance to watch it in Orlando, but I didn't take it because you would yell at me. So.
Alright. Actress in a drama. Yeah, I wish this had been Bullock's time. This was the only time Bullock could have won, but...
Bullock's done now. I'm sorry.
Everybody knew it was going to be Blanchett. You were the one that predicted Bullock, actually.
I know, but I should have thought about it. I was like, Bullock's... No, I did predict Bullock, but I mean, I think she's done.
I really wanted to say Bullock, but I guess Blanchett's just going to be that performance this year.
We were talking when Blue Jasmine came out. Yeah, when we were talking about Blue Jasmine, everybody in the world was saying not only was she going to get nominated, she was going to win, she was going to win, she was going to win. And now we're at the award ceremonies, she's winning, and there's no surprises. I
got to be honest, I was one of those people that kept telling those people that Blanchett was going to die off and not be this much of a front runner, but
nope.
Well, it helps that I saw an article about something, and it was what's really going to help this is it was a bunch of big industry people, like directors and like Clooney, and obviously Clooney is a director, but directors and Clooney, they're two separate. Just a lot of big industry names, mm-hmm. And it was an article devoted to them talking about how much they love Cate Blanchett, the person.
Yeah.
So that's really going to help. Her acceptance speech was apparently very controversial.
Yeah?
About Drew Barrymore. The Drew Barrymore thing. Mm. Apparently, what I read about that was her saying, like, they made me come out wrong or something. Mm. Apparently, they did the Please Welcome Drew Barrymore from Blended, and she came out on the stage and started to do her thing. Mm. And it was still on the commercial break.
Ooh.
So they had to do it over again when the cameras were actually on.
Smackdown taping.
Apparently, that's what she was talking about.
Yeah, you're talking about Kate Blanchett basically outing Judy Garland for her barbiturate usage, which may or may not be true. We don't know.
Although there's like proof.
But I'm just trying to cover our behinds here.
But it was,
not the right time to say that.
Well, she was, I suppose while we're in the actress category, we'll
The
talk...
Meryl Streep thing, talking about Walt Disney, angered me too.
While we're in actress for a drama, let's talk about how hilarious Emma Thompson is.
She's awesome. She was holding her heels and everything, and an alcohol in her hand. She was like, I don't care.
Her heels have red on the bottom of them. This is my blood.
My blood, yes.
She has to choose between letting the martini go and letting the heels go when she hands
Drops the heels on the ground, keeps the alcohol.
Yeah, God, if you watch, like, she's very, when she's on screen, Emma Thompson is very, like, we know her.
Yeah.
But when you see Emma Thompson, like, just being her normal self.
That's just Emma.
It's just an amazing thing to see.
It really is.
She's a hoot.
I wish she would have been more of a contender here. Not just because of my bias. I really wish she'd be more of a contender here. And even Judi Dench. I mean, I don't know why Judi Dench didn't have more of a contention here.
Blanchett is... I've already said a few times. I think Blanchett and Blue Jasmine isn't that big of a deal.
You said that. We walked out of the movie.
Well, whatever.
I know.
Bullock or Dench, I would choose either one. I'd literally just have to choose one at random. But obviously Blanchett, I think, is going to be... Unless, Judi Dench can take that BAFTA. There's always that.
It's possible.
But I don't even know about that anymore.
I don't know anymore.
Actor in a drama, this was fun.
Yeah, I was happy about this. Happy to be wrong.
Surprising. I know a lot of people actually started to predict it at the last minute. Almost to the fact that it almost became a sure thing. But I was surprised.
The Globes like to go for the more popular choice.
Yeah, but this is after the Guild love for Dallas Buyers Club, too.
That's true. Yeah, Dallas Buyers Club got a tremendous boost in the last several weeks.
And he gave a great speech.
Yeah, he did. Threw a little dazed and confusing at everybody before he started as well. That was really nice for everyone.
So it'll be very interesting to see how he does. I still think Chiwetel's got BFCA, and Chiwetel's obviously got BAFTA.
Yeah, because Dallas Buyers Club's never to be found in the BAFTAs.
The big question is if McConaughey can take SAG.
Because McConaughey's out, he's obviously not in the BAFTA lineup, so it doesn't matter either way. But if he can win everything else going into that, he's got a really, really good shot at taking the Oscar. And I have zero problems with this.
We'll just have to see.
It's going to be a nice night for Dallas Buyers Club come March 2nd at this rate. Robert Redford. All his lost won last night, but it wasn't Redford.
So,
and Tam Honks, I believe is what they're calling him now. I mean, it's like, Hanks is a brilliant performance in Captain Phillips. It's just the one that's not going to go anywhere. Like you said, it's Denzel from Flight.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. And Idris Elba, he just got nominated. Yay.
Director, everybody knew was going to happen.
Yeah.
But it was still awesome to see Alfonso Cuarón accepting a Best Director award, which he's probably going to be doing a lot.
Talking about giving Sandra Bullock herpes.
Yes.
That line was brilliant. Oh, he meant an earpiece.
Once again, I actually, for a split second there, thought it actually might have been Russell, but...
I wanted Russell to win so bad, obviously.
I think, I think Cuarón's gonna... I think this is a start for Cuarón, so...
You watch him get stopped starting this week, and then no more Cuarón the rest of the time, but I don't see any way that's going to happen.
Obviously, I've already said I've latched onto McQueen taking DGA. We'll see what happens.
We'll find out.
I doubt it.
I want Russell to take DGA, but that's just me.
Alright. And 12 Years a Slave wins Best Picture without winning anything else.
Yeah.
Steve McQueen was legitimately surprised.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this for a second.
Okay.
This thing we keep talking about.
Mm-hmm.
This point that a lot of people bring up, and it's just been this ongoing thing forever.
Yes.
This normally when you win the Picture Drama Globe, you don't win Best Picture. It's a kiss of death.
Yes.
But there are cases where movies just undeniably sweep.
Argo
and Slumdog and Return of the King being the most recent examples.
That's a nice group of three right there.
I've been saying all year a split's not going to happen. a split might happen, I guess.
It,
I mean, I'm not saying the Globes are absolutely solidifying anything because they don't. But,
no.
I mean, they started the Walt streak last year, but
Yes.
that was a whole different thing. So, you know what? I don't know anymore.
I think with this 5, you really only have 2 options in this 5 that could potentially contend for picture. Because as great as Philomena is, I don't see it as a contender. Rush, it's nice it's getting nominated. I'm sure you love that, but it's not going anywhere. And as much as everyone loves Captain Phillips, I'll throw out your line, with the exception of potentially Greengrass, and it's hard for me to say that, but even though I don't have a problem with Paul Greengrass, I'm sorry, I'm trying to tell you that over and over again. Captain Phillips is not in contention either. So it's basically just Gravity and 12 Years a Slave. Neither one, I don't believe either one of these movies will win Best Picture. I'm still sticking with American Hustle. But it's going to take a lot at this point. But winning a lot of the other awards may help it a little bit more. But the Oscar votes are already in, and we'll know Thursday what's going on. So none of this has anything to do with anything now.
Yeah.
It's basically just, we already know who won. We already know what's going to get nominated. Now we're along for the ride. Which is always fun about this time of the year. Honestly.
Well, there'll be a brand new set of politics for the voting after the nominees come out, so...
And who knows how many actual Best Picture nominees we're going to get this year anyway. I mean, how much filler is going to be on that list? Honestly, when it comes down to it, there's 10 legitimate candidates for Best Picture right now. Not necessarily can win, but they are solid movies that deserve contention if you have to have that many in the lineup. So it's not going to be a bad year. It's not been a bad year. All these movies, anything that has any Best Picture potential right now, they're all good movies. At least good movies, if not great movies. So this has been a great year.
Unless tomorrow when we see Inside Llewyn Davis in Nebraska, we hate one of them. But I don't think that's
possible. Yeah. I love Payne and the Coen brothers both, so I don't think there's any way I'm going to dislike either one of those. And I didn't know how much I'd like her either when I watched it, so who knows. But those are our Golden Globes recap, and recap again will be happening later this weekend. We're going to be talking about the Critics' Choice Awards. And
the gift that I want somebody to make.
Yes! Greatest thing ever.
Somebody please take that scene from... I mean, I'm not much about this meme and GIF thing that everybody does, but if one should exist...
certain circumstance.
What you need to do is... Somebody already made the one where Jordan's saying into the fucking stratosphere, and instead of the microphone, they replaced it with an Oscar.
That'd be nice.
Now that they both won on the same night, you need to take the scene with Jordan and Mark Hanna pounding on their chests, and you need to put the globes in their hands. And this is their celebratory. This was them at the after party.
Poor Jonah Hill.
It just happens to take place during the day in New York.
It could be taking place today, in actuality. But yeah, we'll talk about those recaps. Like, we have a recap of the Critics' Choice Awards. I don't know if we're going to film it probably Saturday. That's going to be a long night of filming, it looks like. Or Sunday, one of the days. And we'll get that out to you guys. And
we should probably also mention that Jonah Hill and Margot Robbie didn't get thanked by DiCaprio until he was on stage to present Cate Blanchett.
No one thanked Louis C.K. either.
He
wasn't mentioned at all.
They barely mentioned Jeremy Renner.
Yeah, you were like, when's Renner going to get not mentioned? Oh, forget him. Jeremy Renner. Yeah, finally. About
it was almost like it was a chore for them to mention Jeremy Renner.
Poor Hawkeye. So, that being said, once again, enjoy the rest of the award season. I'm sure we will, hopefully. And we're going to go watch Inside Llewyn Davis in Nebraska tomorrow, and we'll let you guys know what we think about all of those movies, including August and Her on Friday. And this Thursday, Oscar predictions will be null and void because the actual nominations will be out. So it's going to be really interesting to see what gets in. If it's going to be a predictable year, or if it's going to be like the Globes last night, and all bets are off. So, in the meantime, thank you guys and girls out there for watching. Enjoy the rest of award season, or don't, in this case, depending on what you like and what you're rooting for. So, until a little bit later, boys and girls, go watch a movie, and that's all I got to say about that.